Hi, I'm former Buckeye quarterback Rex Kern. I played football, basketball, and baseball in high school. Those experiences provided me with learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. High school sports help young people learn about hard work, discipline, and sacrifice, and they go a long way in helping provide the tools needed to succeed in life. High school sports are more than extracurricular, they're extra important too.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Welcome to this edition of Lancaster Perspective. I'm Mike Miller. Thanks for tuning in today. And my special guest from the Fairfield County Veterans Commission Office, Angel Anderson and Wes Reynolds. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
It's now I know you're both in the service and Army.
I was Army, yes.
Right. Air Force.
I'm Air Force. I'm actually retired Air Force.
Okay, so do I separate you two, or what do we?
No.
How do we do this?
No,
Everybody okay?
We're doing
Yes.
good. We're good.
Fantastic. Well, let's talk a little bit about both of you before we start about the stand down, Fairfield County stand down. What we're going to talk about in a few minutes. Talk a little bit about what took you to the service. How did you get involved with the service?
You go ahead and go first.
Actually, I grew up around the service. My grandpa was in the service. My uncle was in the service. My dad was in the service, and so was my stepdad. So I kind of grew up around it. So big sister, she went in, and I tried to go in the Army, but she told me that she would kick my butt if I went in anything but the Air Force. So I went in the Air Force, and 20 years later, retired.
Oh, that's amazing. That's fantastic.
I had two uncles. They were Air Force, and my father was Navy. So I guess it was just, I was the first female in the family to join the service, and the only one as of now. If I can keep that good, then that'll be best.
That is fantastic. Well, we all appreciate your service to our country and what you've done. Talk a little about some of your experiences with the service. I mean, did you go overseas? Talk a little bit about.
I was like I said, I was in the Air Force. I was an aircraft mechanic. So I personally didn't stay in country for very long at any different spots. I was in and out more than anything. I think all but two continents I've stepped foot on. So
Wow.
the poles being the one of them. So I never got the North or South Pole area. Went to South America a couple times, Middle East, Southwest Asia, Hawaii a couple times.
Was there anything that when you got there, it's like, I didn't expect this? I mean, this is just what I didn't,
Yeah, pretty much anywhere in this Southwest Asia region, it was the temperature.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, coming from the east coast of the United States, going over there, and it's 150 degrees with humidity. So, depending on which way the wind blew. So, it was,
I was
the
compared
smells were pretty bad.
the smells. The smells in Korea. Germany was the nicest place I ever went to. Kuwait was, and Iraq, of course. I compare the heat to turn your oven to about 450 degrees, leave it on for 5 hours, open the door, and stick your head in. That's how you can compare the heat. Korea was a very different smelling country. It was a good experience, though.
I know, being veterans, let's just talk a little about sense of America. I mean, I know what your dedication is, but do you see a different turning of people in America that they're looking at service more so than not as much before?
I think it's more positive nowadays because you got a different generation. Of course, back in the 60s and 70s, you had the Vietnam era, and it's totally different now. People are more patriotic. So, I mean, I think it is more pro-America, and they're getting more backing of the military. So that's my opinion. That's what I see. I don't know.
Angel?
I don't know. I see, seems like our younger vets, they struggle sometimes, college student vets and things like that. Well, there's some disrespect I've seen across the news networks and just the last week or so especially, and I'm kind of very disheartened by it, I guess you could say. I'd like to see our vets and our servicemen and women get the support that they need, which it's kind of a divided, I think. You get a lot of backing, but then you have a lot that don't want anything to do with it. So fortunately, maybe we can awaken eyes to the sacrifices that are made daily.
Let's talk a little bit about the Fairfield County Veterans Commission. A little bit about it, what the mission of it is, how you guys got involved with it.
I was hired back in September. Actually, was going to take a secretary position, and that didn't work out so well. I got moved up into financial assistance, and now I am a claims officer in training for national and state. It's a lengthy process, but it's a very rewarding job. I would say this is the most rewarding job I've ever had, and I can't honestly see myself doing anything else but this. Our main goal is to reach out to veterans, help them, whether it be filing a claim, whether it be providing transportation, enrolling in education or health care benefits, or if they need financial assistance in some way. Our main goal is to be there to support and represent the veteran at all times.
Website, phone number? Or?
Our main phone number is 740-652-7920 is the main number. Our website is fcvsc.org. And that stands for Fairfield County Veterans Service Commission. So it's fcvsc.org is our website.
How many veterans are there in Fairfield County?
About 12,500.
She knew that like that. I mean,
There's approximately 12,500 veterans in Fairfield County. We've started several outreach programs. We kind of have a whole new face in the office. We have Park Russell is our new director. He came on in August as the director, with Ed Moeller retiring then. Les started January of this year. Justin Messinger, he is our education guru of benefits. He is exceptional at his job, and we're all claims officers in training, and we all do financial assistance, and we all have our own specialties. Justin started in November, and then we have Ella Nixon. She's our secretary and our transportation clerk, and she does a fine job at that as well.
Now, you have to be a resident of Fairfield County. If a veteran came from Pickaway County.
In order to file a claim with the Veterans Affairs, with the VA, whether it be education, health care, disability, compensation, aid and attendance, widows, you don't have to be a resident of our county in order to come in and file a claim. Now, for financial assistance and transportation, yes, that is a requirement. You have to have been a resident of the county for 90 days or longer and be able to prove that. You also have to have been active duty for other than a training purpose. So if you were a National Guard and activated underneath Title 10, or an Army Reservist, or activated underneath Title 10, that constituted as active duty other than training. Now, if say you were a Guardsman or a Reservist and you only did your annual trainings and every, your 1 weekend, 2 weeks, unfortunately that doesn't count as active duty time. In order to verify service, we request DD-214 or discharge paperwork. And if you need assistance in getting those documents, we offer that as well. How to order online or send out for it by mail. We also recommend that all county veterans have their discharge and DD-214s recorded at the county recorder's office in room 205 at 210 East Main.
And what are the office hours again?
Our office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. We ask that if for financial assistance and things like that, you just come in prior to 4. It takes a little bit of time to sit down with the application. If they have any questions, they can call and to request of what documents are needed to come in for whatever benefit they're looking for.
I know there's a lot of different projects that you both have been involved with, but the one we want to talk about today is the 2015 Fairfield County Stand Down.
Yes.
And let's talk a little bit about that, how it got started, how it's doing. I know it's going to be at the Fairgrounds AAA building, but let's talk a little bit about the concept behind it. And we were talking a little off air about it because this has been in other places too.
There are 5 stand downs in the state of Ohio. This will be new. This is our first year. This is a new project. We are very excited about the project. Start off with, I guess, let's clarify what a stand down is. Stand down in the military, and how the concept all originally started was in the 80s with a couple of Vietnam veterans. And a bunch of older vets will recognize the term stand down. You go out on patrol or mission for an extended period of time, you come to the rear and you stand down. You receive, of course, showers, food, equipment. You reissue and regroup, and take that time to be able to feel like, okay, we can breathe. So that's essentially what a stand down is. And that is exactly what we're doing this day. It'll be Friday, May 22nd from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It is for veterans and non-veterans who are homeless or at risk for being homeless. We're not going to ask for anybody to prove that they're homeless or at risk for being homeless. There are so many different programs that are available, social services we will have on site. And Lutheran Social Services is spearheading this event with us. So we have been working with them very closely. They were just awarded a new grant, which is SSVF, and that's Selective Services for Veterans and Families. And it's a rapid rehousement for permanent housing. It's not putting them in a shelter. It's not putting them in temporary housing. It's somewhere where they can call their own. But it's a temporary financial relief to be able to get them to that point to where they can get their head above water and get back on track.
Now, what should veterans bring with them? IDs? What should they?
Do you want to cover that?
The main thing, if they don't have the veterans ID cards through the VA retired ID card or our county ID card, they'd have to bring a copy of their DD-214, which is their discharge paper, showing that they were discharged from the military.
Or they can even bring in their post, the American Legion, their VFW card. We all have those cards that say we're a member of. And in order to be a member of those, you had to have been a veteran for the most part. For most of them, like VVA, VFW especially, AMVETS, DAV, American Legion, Marine Corps League.
Vietnam Veterans of America.
Yeah, VVA, Vietnam Veterans of America.
Disabled American Veterans.
Yeah. So, there's many different organizations that they can belong to and bring in their ID card. Real quick, I want to touch on the county ID card that Les touched on. It's a new outreach program. Thank you to the Fairfield County Recorder's Office, Gene Wood's office, started this program, and they issue out picture county veteran ID cards. And in order for a veteran to obtain that, they have to have their discharge of their DD-214 recorded at the county recorder's office in room 205 at 210 East Main. They go over there. It takes about 5 minutes. They don't have to have ever been active duty, and that's the benefit of that card specifically. In order to have VA healthcare, you had to have done some kind of active duty time, whereas with the county ID card, you could have been a reservist or a guards person, and that's all you ever did. So they go get this great picture ID. They come across the street to our office at 227 East Main, and we have a list of approximately 50 businesses within the county that are offering discounts to the veterans that possess the ID card. So.
Again, this is May 22nd from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Fairfield County Fairgrounds, the AAA building and the Ed Sands building. There are a couple of things here that will be free for those attending. Medical screenings, legal aid, haircuts, clothing, food, lunch, giveaways, entertainment. They're going to be access to unemployment or to employment and social service agencies.
Yes.
How much time did it take to do all this?
We've been in the official planning stages since February. So we're at 30 days or less now. We need volunteers. You can sign up to be. We have a website.
Should just call you if they want to volunteer?
We have a website, and WebChick designed and donated her time and service of our websites for us. The website is togetherwemoveforward.com or .org. There's a volunteer sign-up sheet there. It lists, you just ask for your name. The dates, there's 2 days available, various times. We ask that all of our people who are volunteering or signing up to volunteer pick 2 different areas. That way you're not stuck in the same place. I shouldn't say stuck. You're not stationary in the same place all day long. We require that if they are working the day of the event with our guests that'll be attending, that they just attend one of our orientation training dates, and that's also on the website, May 12th and May 16th. They're an hour-long session. And the event is free of charge completely to our guests. VA Mobile Clinic will be there doing veterans health screenings. Fairfield Medical will be there doing non-veterans. We will have legal aid. We have an attorney present. Great Clips is going to be doing haircuts. Every social service agency that 211, Community Action, Grace Haven, Lighthouse, New Horizons, Mid-Ohio Psychological Services, Lutheran Social Services will be on site signing people up for the SSVF program. Mid-Ohio Food Bank will be there doing food pantry. We will have a clothing bank. We will be providing a hot meal that day.
Good.
MK Productions has donated their time as a DJ for the event all day.
Now, who's donating the lunch?
The American Legion has covered all of the food, and we are having hamburgers, hot dogs, chips, water, salad. Nick's Pizzeria here in town is donating the salad. WLOH 104.5. They will be live on site doing a remote that day. There will be all different kinds of giveaways. There will be entertainment. Congressman Stiver's office will be there. Not him specifically, but his aide will be there, the sheriff and the mayor and police chief. And we will have a flag ceremony, singing of Star Spangled Banner and so on and so forth.
Right. Now, you've been to a few of these before, other locations.
I went to the one in Columbus
Okay.
back in October, and it is quite large. There's a strictly to veterans. They've been doing it 20 years, and this was their first year at a new location. They were at Huntington Park. They had been at Vets Memorial prior to. So this was new for them in a new location, new logistical, and it was very well put together. It ran extremely smoothly, just walking through the event itself.
Now, you mentioned that Fairfield Medical Center was going to be there for non-veterans.
Yes.
So is this open to non-veterans to come
Yes.
also? Okay.
It is open to veteran and non-veteran, homeless or at risk for being homeless. And we consider being at risk for homeless as you're staying on a family member's couch. At any moment, they could kick you out. You're really at risk for being homeless at that point.
Let's talk about this for a second, because how real is this for people? I think some people don't understand this. Maybe the general public is thinking, well, veterans are taken care of. Talk a little bit about homelessness for veterans. And
You got that.
Okay. It is a real problem. The transition from military life to civilian life can be compared to being institutionalized. You have someone to tell you where to go, where to be, what to take, what time you're supposed to be there, how long you're going to be there. You have somebody always telling you where to go. You get out and you transition back to civilian life after 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 plus years. It can be a little difficult. You're overwhelmed. You have all these options.
All it takes is really just losing your job, and then 6 weeks later, you don't have any money to make your house payment. You have to move out.
And it's a pride thing.
Yeah.
For a lot of veterans, we don't want to ask for help. It's kind of a weakness, I guess you could say. We don't want to swallow our pride and admit that we need help, or that we, just need somebody to listen or talk to or guide us in the right direction to go. So that's a big issue, is the pride. And we tell our clients that come in, there's nothing to be ashamed of for whatever situation and why you're there, whether you lose your job. And unfortunately, with a lot of veterans we're seeing with the younger generation, they have great college degrees. There's just no work. They end up working for a lot of temp agencies or, minimum wage or just a little above. And when you have a family, that's really hard. You have a wife and kids or a husband and kids, and it's kind of hard to provide and make those ends meet. So, costs are rising, and you can contribute it to 100 different things. But yes, it is a real issue.
Once again, this is the Veterans Stand Down, May 22nd, 10 to 3 o'clock at the Fairfield County Fairgrounds at Sands, and actually at the Ed Seds building and AAA building there on the Fairgrounds. When you talk with people that you discuss this, what's their reaction from? I mean, when you talk to a non-veteran, is it like, well, it can't be that bad? I mean, we're supposed to be taking care of our veterans.
I'm not really hearing a lot of negativity from anybody. Most of the people I've talked to, they're excited about it. They want to help. They just don't want to know what we need, and we need all kinds of volunteers to help out with this. And that's the main thing we need. We need people.
So when you say volunteers, I mean young kids like the crew here?
16 and older.
16 and older is the requirement.
Okay, so again, if they just stop by your office on Main Street, is that
They
okay?
can absolutely. They can
Okay.
call.
Yeah.
They can email. They can stop by. They can go
Right.
online.
Well, this would be a great service project for a lot of schools. I mean, and a lot of organizations
And
that.
the only downfall to it is it's 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on a Friday. So we've run into a lot of just as commencement exercises.
Right.
You know, everybody's getting ready for graduation or the end of the school year. So that's kind of where we're at with that. And it was probably a little bit of short notice. It was a little bit of short notice to start planning, but we think we're coming along. I think Les wants to talk about transportation offered that day.
We do have our vans. We're gonna have three vans in service, 2 vans in service, possibly
Maybe.
3.
Possibly 3.
We're gonna be running different routes through town. Lutheran Social Service is also gonna have a van. They're gonna be providing transportation. The YMCA has volunteered some time with a bus for part of the day. They're not gonna be there the whole day because of school routes.
Right.
Salvation Army, they're gonna be running a route for us.
We'll be doing pre-designated routes.
Yeah.
And we will advertise where the routes are and the pickup times and the drop-off times. I believe we're going to start picking up around 9 a.m. will be the first pickup. Like our office, of course, everybody, that'll be at 227 East Main. Lutheran Social Services, that'll be 1681 East Main over at Fairhaven. Salvation Army will be at their location in YMCA. That's where the starting points will be, and all the end points, of course, will be the Fairgrounds. The last pickup time will be 2 o'clock. We tried to reach all outskirts of Lancaster in the transportation, so that way, hey, I can make it to your county line, or I can make it to the Lancaster city.
Sure.
And we have reached out to the surrounding counties. It is not just for Fairfield County veterans or non-veterans. It is open up to Perry, Hocking, Licking, Pickaway, Franklin. Ross. I know they're not a neighboring county, but we see a lot of veterans come from Chillicothe because of the VA Medical Center being down there. But if any way they can find to get there, you know, we will try and find them a way to somewhere where they can get to another location.
That's a lot of activity for just you two. We're putting it together. I mean, that's a lot to do.
It is, but we have
We're getting help. We have help.
We have lots of help. We've had a great support, and Eddie Rapp and his group down at Lutheran Social Services has Shannon and Carrie and Chris and all of the gang down there. They're wonderful. We work really well together. It's a great working relationship that we have together. And you talked about employment being there. Yes, we will have 5 employers on site that day. We will have Lowe's, Fairfield Medical Center. We will have Snyder and Blake will be there. West Staff will be there, and local Union Sheet Metal Workers 24. I believe it's 24.
Do you need more employers to be there? Do you need?
5, but space and kind of time frame. Lyle Hamilton. He is awesome, and he got all that together for us. We'll have representatives from Job and Family Services there doing benefits. Social Security Administration will be there. A VA Medical Center for Substance Abuse, Suicide Prevention will also be on site. And we will be giving away goodie bags with personal hygiene products and list of donation items that are needed: ponchos, Ziploc bags, shampoo.
Just drop them off at the office?
They can drop. We have several different points.
Firehouse 1, 2, 3, the Eagle Gazette, our office, LSS, Healthy.
211 Healthy Edge Nutrition. Down from the post office. You cover the Carroll Place in Carroll, the nursing home out there. Mid Ohio Psychological. 211 Bremen Elementary. Bremen Elementary is also a drop-off point. Roseanne.
2 at Anchor Hocking.
Okay.
And one at the post office. Well, that's more or less for the employees, at the post office. So there is a list. We have the list. Is the list on the website? Is the list on the website of items needed? We have plenty of toothbrushes and toothpaste. Thank you to the Blue Star Mothers chapter, Roseanne Elliott and her girls. Ladies, they did a phenomenal job. 300 toothbrushes and toothpaste.
Wow.
And we ask that they be travel size, convenience size, especially for the food. Something that they can carry on their person that's not perishable. But we'll be giving a lot of giveaways, a lot of goodie bags be handed out. We do have a day that if somebody would like to volunteer, May 17th, 1 to 3, we will be packing all of our goodie bags.
At the commission's office?
No, I think...
It's up in the air right now.
Up in the air, tentative. We had to change the location.
For the Knights of Columbus location. But
we'll know that definitely come Monday.
Okay, so we need volunteers. We could use people with transportation vans to help out. Is the transportation...
Transportation is pretty much set.
It's good? Okay.
Unless we have an organization that would like to step up and
We can always.
go further outside
Right.
of Lancaster, that would be excellent. They would just need to call Les at 740-652-7925. That's his direct line. He's done a great job with the transportation and working all of those details out. Our volunteers will be provided T-shirts the day of the event. And so they need to make sure they put their size down and which training session that they want to attend also.
And the website and phone number one more time.
The website is togetherwemoveforward.com or .org. And the phone number for our office is 652-7920. And LSS, that's Lutheran Social, their phone number is 653-2012. And anybody down there can give them details on, because they have all the same information.
Time has absolutely flown by. We just have a few minutes left. Once again, this is May 22nd, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Fairfield County Fairgrounds, the Ed Sands building and the AAA building. In just the minute or so we have left, talk about what this means to veterans. I know it's just a short time, but just...
It means that somebody cares. Somebody cares enough to listen and to take time out of their day to acknowledge them and the sacrifices that they or their families may have made. So it does mean a lot. The simplest and smallest acts for them mean and tremendous mean the world.
Well, I appreciate both of you coming on, and more importantly, just your service to our country. We just can't say enough for that. Les, we appreciate you being here. And just again, we hope that this is a great event, and we'll get the word out. I'm sure that we'll get some people that will respond and help out as much as they possibly can. And
that's what we're hoping for.
This is
Appreciate any of it.
Thank you for having us on.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for coming on, and once again, we appreciate everything that you two have done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of Lancaster Perspective. I'm Mike Miller, and remember, until we meet again, let's make a difference.
In 1929 in Chicago, a gentleman by the name of Marion Wade, a former minor league baseball player, started the company. It was just a moth-proofing company then. In 1952, it expanded to carpet cleaning and pioneered what is now called outsourcing. And the Sidwells wanted a community that had a lot of churches, had a lot of soccer opportunities where kids love soccer, and a good Parks and Rec department, so they chose Lancaster. And so in 1980, they moved the franchise here in Lancaster to 6th Avenue. But then in 2002, Todd George, current owner, purchased the franchise from them. And in 2004, he bought a building that's on Mulberry Street, and that's where the franchise is located currently. I'm Jay Johnson, General Manager of Service Master Clean by Todd George, where we guarantee if it's not done right the first time, we'll do it again.
Service Master Clean by Todd George, 740-687-1077, 740-687-1077.